presentation, maybe 15 minutes of Q&A, and then we will end at about quarter to the top of the hour. So Chase, I will let you take it from here. You can introduce yourself and jump into your presentation.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to keep my clock right in front of me so we hit the right timing. It's about 15 minutes of a presentation and then 15 of Q&A.
Yes.
And then I'll share my screen. This topic is a really important one right now, and a lot of marketers across the whole board of any category, whether it's retail, e-commerce, healthcare, as we talked about in one of the breakout sessions. Let's see how this screen share goes. Are we seeing one window with a like
How to
person with a
rank
brain?
in AI search looks good.
Cool. Um, just so we don't have technical issues, I'm gonna leave it the way it is here. I like to see my screen at the same time. So I think most people are familiar with normal search, which people are calling now traditional SEO, where you would search with Google. And, I grew up in the 90s where I remember when Google first came out. And I think before that, there was Yahoo and Ask Jeeves and some other search platforms. But since a young age, I'd been using a search tool like Google to find what I want online. And now with AI, there's a big behavioral change with the just everything from average consumers to the B2B world, searching for things that they need through AI, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, and so on. And so this presentation will be an overview. I know it's like a how-to, but I'm not going to go like a technical tutorial. This will be the new SEO mindset for marketers, founders, and anyone working with the marketing team who are looking to win in the time of AI discovery. As more people use AI to research what they need, this is what I've been seeing and what other marketers have been seeing, and even those in the media space. I I own two companies. One is an SEO agency called SEO Counselors. The other is a media publisher called Retail Wire. And so on the media side, we live and breathe by our traffic that we get. That's our product, right? Our product is the content, and then with sponsorships, then we need traffic to survive. So it's very important to us. um, Speaking of Google, this is kind of the easiest way to explain it. We've got the Google search is driven off of keywords. So people would search for something like running shoes. That's a broad keyword or a short tail keyword. It's going to be a lot more people searching for that. And that's how most of us have used Google is just, you know, vegan restaurant, running shoes, best hikes in Salt Lake City. And then you look for a website. And I'm sure most of us have played around with AI at least. The more you use AI, the longer the keyword or the longer the query is. So you're not going to just go to ChatGPT and type in running shoes. You're going to say, hey, I'm 35 years old. I'm trying to get active again. I want to be able to run, but also play pickleball and look good, whatever. So there's like this longer keyword. And the sources that we're looking at now, ChatGPT is the biggest one. There's Claude, Perplexity, and Gemini, and there are some others, but this is looking like the new Google. It's still a very small fraction of the searchers, but it's a well-researched group of people. So if you're a marketer and you see the traffic coming in from ChatGPT, it's more likely this person's ready to buy now because they've done all this research before they hit your website. And so marketing funnels are kind of flattening. Some say the marketing funnel is dead because people are getting their information and getting educated about your brand in so many different places before they even hit your website. And that was happening with TikTok and Instagram and all the social media channels as well. They could be binging your content over there on inside a different ecosystem, and then they get to your website and all of a sudden they skip right to the product pricing page, and then they check out. And you're like, why are people not reading our blogs and reading, scrolling down our homepage? So this is kind of the problem and opportunity that's happening right now. The old SEO, which I'm not saying SEO is dead. I'm not saying old SEO is going away completely, but I like to frame this up as the old SEO is driven off of your one website, this one authority or one authoritative page, and most of the SEO marketing effort would be poured into that, building up that website. And you have an authority or a domain score. These are all just ways of predicting Google's algorithm of how much they like your website, how much they'll serve it up. So we'd use backlinks. We would focus on the homepage. We would control the structure of the website. And the new AI search is that your brand is going to be found everywhere. And I'll show you in a few slides from now. Your website itself is becoming less important. Doesn't mean it's not important. Your structure is still very important, but your brand is being distributed everywhere else as well. So it's happening across social media. It's happening across Reddit, Quora, and other interviews online. If you guys post this presentation somewhere, maybe if it's on YouTube, then AI can read this and understand what we're talking about today. So the old way was to really pour in a lot to your own property. The new way, if you want to be found in AI, is influencing the whole ecosystem. Getting on podcasts. Well, we'll get into the tactics later. So the AI doesn't really care where the signal comes from. It finds you anywhere you're mentioned in trusted, relevant places. What is AI citing? So AI citations are kind of the new backlink. So when someone searches in AI, what is that AI platform likely to cite as a source? Muckrack is a journalism platform. It tracks all kinds of writers in the PR and journalism space. They studied 500,000 prompts, and what they found was that 37% of the AI citations come from third-party content not owned by the brand. It doesn't really matter how much you're putting on your website if 37% is being cited from other places. Only 2% of the citations were coming from your marketing pages. So the gap where we already knew that it's hard to get organic traffic to your own sales pages, it's even harder to get traffic from ChatGPT to your sales page. The keywords, they're not really keywords anymore, they're prompts. So if you're looking to start tracking how you show up in AI results, then you'd look for a prompt tracking tool. And a lot of the SEO softwares have started to add this. So any of the standard ones, but there's some leaders of the pack now that have went out ahead of SEMrush and Ahrefs and some of the legacy SEO softwares. But the prompt would look like, it could be short, like best CRM for startups. It could be longer, like top marketing automation tools for small businesses. It's a pretty long SEO keyword, but a pretty average length for a prompt. Authority by association. So LLMs work like a neural network, and so they have to associate you with something. And so being quoted or referenced or discussed by an authoritative place could be Reddit, Quora, it could be a entrepreneur community like this. That equals trust signal. So just bragging about and tooting your own horn, not so much credibility, but if AI sees your name in customer posts, community threads. That starts to count as reputation. My takeaway here is don't try to be everything to everyone. Good advice for any startup or any business, but be known for something. Be known for something to someone specific. Specific. I'm going to skip that word. Builds authority while broad claims dilute your visibility. As these prompts become more specific, and as people use ChatGPT, if you have a subscription or if you use it, it starts to remember who you are. So if you notice that you search a new prompt in ChatGPT, it's going to say, "Oh yeah, because you're a founder, if because you own a marketing agency, I thought this would be helpful to you because of the memory." I'm going to go a little bit faster so we get through this. This is just an example I did with our own agency. I thought, let's go as niche as possible. So we made a page for food truck SEO company. We've made a page for golf coach SEO company and car shipping company SEO. These niche pages seemed too narrow in the past because there's probably 10 people a month who search for food truck SEO. But we did it anyway, partly because we can use AI to help us generate the content, but also because people are choosing to search more narrow searches now. So we've gotten leads off of each of these pages so far. Are keywords dead? No, I said it before, SEO is not dead. But the old keywords that you would track in Google would be like plumber in Dallas. The new AI query might be, what's the best way to get my water heater fixed this weekend if I live in North Dallas? See how specific it gets? It's not just because people are getting smarter or anything. It's because we were trained with Google to put short queries, and now we're getting accustomed to long queries actually getting us what we want. And the AI fluff that started coming out when everyone started moving over to AI. You type one little thing and then you get all this fluff answer. So everyone started to type longer things or use voice. That's becoming popular too. Founders, um, founders can be a very important piece of the marketing, as authority of a brand has to be grounded in something real. Founders are becoming more involved in the marketing, personal branding, speaking at events, getting on podcasts. I think in the past, podcasts were kind of like it didn't always feel that great to do a podcast and get 20 people listening to it. Now, I think it's becoming more important, not just for the listener, but just to have content about yourself online. Even if 20 people listen to it, it's another signal, it's another thing that the AI um, can train on and can fit you into its understanding of the world. PR is changing because old PR was kind of this fuzzy, hard to measure, difficult to measure. It was the brand halo effect. And now what's very interesting is that if people use AI assistants or AI agents to do some of this research, the AI agent is the one going through your sales funnel and then giving a recommendation to its master. And so a lot of this stuff is still going to be important, but PR is what is being cited more in AI. My recommendations, how can you control what ChatGPT says? Well, not directly. Eventually, they're going to add kind of a merchant center where you can kind of let it know what products you have if you're an e-commerce brand, but you can influence it in different ways. Getting cited by other sources, staying involved online in forums that are relevant to you. Be specific, build trust. AI is scraping as much as it can. It scrapes everything and it tries to understand what's important. So if you're just repeating what is already out there, less likely to be cited. But if you're bringing something new, some new information and a new perspective, um, if you think about it in terms of competition, everybody can hit a button and generate a blog article. Not everyone can take a unique podcast or interview you did with another founder, transcribe it, and turn that into a blog. That's unique. So there's some shortcuts to get unique content made. And then I was just saying you can't buy placement like a Google ad yet, because that's likely coming down the line, but you can flood the ecosystem with some specific and trusted content. What I've started to add to my playbook is measuring the AI visibility. There's a few tools out there. I don't own any of them, and I don't have any right now to recommend. But there are a lot of tools out there that will help track how well you show up. Ditch blog filler, go deep. So if you're trying to write a blog, don't just say, ChatGPT, write me a blog about my industry. It's too boring. It's just going to be fluff. But if you have customer support tickets, if you have a Reddit thread that's very specific to your product, if there are YouTube comments, if let's say you have a YouTube channel, scrape or copy 100 comments, throw that into AI and see if there's some kind of insightful piece that you can write. Reviews are another great place to mine unique source for your brand. And then pick a niche and own it. This is kind of known already. A lot of people are founders, and you know that you can't compete with the biggest companies in the world, but if you pick a niche, you can really stand out. And I believe that is the end of my slide here. I'll end with this part. What used to be top of funnel, well, it's all one funnel now, and AI consumes the full funnel on behalf of the customer. As the consumer or the prospect uses AI to research, like I said before, the AI is going to be crawling through your whole funnel and giving recommendations. So build a brand and make sure you resonate with who you want to resonate with.
Chase, thanks so much for the insight here. We've got some questions in the chat. If anyone else has some specific questions that you'd like Chase to address, please throw them in the chat and we can kind of use that as our cue. First question from Michael. Is it also that old SEO is meant for human searches and today SEO is optimizing robots.txt and content for web crawlers and AI searchers?
Originally, it was old SEO was meant for people. And then what happened was the SEO professionals started writing to get found in Google. So we were writing for the algorithm, and that's when the content became junk. And that's why everybody stopped reading blogs, because it was all just kind of meant, it was just blogs that were meant to rank in Google. And then Google got smart and started to derank the junk and looked for authentic, and that's why they kept updating their algorithm. Today's SEO is optimizing robots, text, content for web crawlers. Yeah, like Google keeps preaching this. Write good, useful content that humans want to read and they find useful. And then as marketers, we just end up writing for the algorithm again because all the tools give us like a score. And I think one of the guys, Michael, was actually might be Michael. Yeah, he was talking about product management. He's like, I like being close to the customer because I get the feedback. And I think content is the same way. And that's why social media content became better because there's comments and the algorithm was faster and all the likes and everything give you faster feedback on your content when blogs didn't really have that. It took you a few weeks to realize that your keyword driven blog was not ranking anymore.
So that goes to a question I think that Chad just put in. If I optimize SEO for AI, will that also function as SEO for Google and vice versa?
Google spokespeople have said that their AI overviews are not using any different way of optimizing. So the safe play is to optimize for good SEO, and then you should be cited well in AI as well. I think what I'm seeing on a technical side is people are trying to phrase things in shorter kind of Q&A type of phrases. If you have a blog, at least you add an FAQ so that it's more likely to match what an AI prompt would be asking. And then the other piece that's missing from that is you only get so far with your own website. So being able to branch outside of that one property and start being found and cited in other places. Since as of right now, ChatGPT and the others are citing really some of the just the most authoritative websites right now. I think they're playing it safe and just citing the ones that they totally trust. Like um, usually it's news sources, New York Times and Wall Street Journal, um, and then some of the bigger, um, more well-known blogs. So that's the only other piece missing because right now it still might be hard to rank your own site.
Chase, you mentioned PR being a great way to rank in the AI space. We've got some PR experts on the call. Do you have suggestions as to what that PR campaign should look like, or are there outlets that are better than others? You named a few that are kind of established, but are there others that we should be looking to?
Yeah, PR is back and can be measured. And now, as actually Mark is saying in the chat, Muckrack was the one who did that study. I don't know if they have an agenda behind it, but I think they were just really looking to understand what are the AI engines citing. And yeah, they're not really trying to answer uh, a question with just like pointing you to a sales page. They want to point you to something authoritative and authorities is built with like kind of an unbiased journalistic point of view. So it's not that any of this is really new for a PR person. It's just I feel like the PR leaders are going to be more important in this next coming era of marketing. Um, it's it, it's I think I'll put a period at the end of that. PR leaders will be more important, and marketers will start to work with them even more.
Mark's over there cheering. I love it, Mark.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. Sorry.
let's see, other questions. Looks like how from Joel McKay, how will the new Cloudflare pay to play algorithm affect the efficacy of AI queries?
It's a wild west right now, and there's a lot of negotiation happening. Even the Cloudflare thing, in a nutshell, is that publishers are being scraped by AI. AI scrapes all that content and serves it up to all the searchers and everybody. That's not really fair to the journalists and the publishers who worked hard to put that stuff on their own site and relied on the traffic to their site to get ad revenue. Without the ad revenue, without the click to the website, they don't get the ad revenue, they don't track any cookies, like they don't own the audience. So publishers have to figure out something else to do to make money. And Cloudflare is trying to stand up for them. And what you can do, it's not really for sure what it's going to do or how it's going to work, if it will work. But essentially, if you're on a Cloudflare, you're using Cloudflare for your website, you could set it up where you charge the bots, um, a certain, uh, you charge them money to crawl your site. I don't know if it will work. It's all kind of up in the air right now. But um, you could see it both ways, I'm sure. But if your website's reliant on ad revenue and traffic, then you want to retain that. Um, the publisher community is hoping that Cloudflare's move will help them.
Thanks. So Hallie said, how are reviews placed by third-party agents in ways that aren't flagged as bot or scam? How to tell if a hiring company is legit?
I'm trying to understand the question.
Hallie, if you want to come off mute, you're welcome
Yeah.
to.
Hi. Um, I was recently contacted by a company called Sweet Caroline Stores, which is registered with business in Colorado. So I thought I was doing due diligence, but as far as searching, it was turned out to be a company that had a new agent, etc., after being dormant since March of this year. So that was one red flag. They wanted to pay me in Bitcoin. They wanted me to
Red flag.
generate. Yes, exactly.
Red flag.
And also they wanted me to generate auto populated boxes, 5-star reviews for Amazon for one thing and another, which were total junk. And so it made me get bemused as far as any review nowadays on any site, because you no longer
Right.
know if they are authentic, human, or otherwise generated. Obviously, I got out and I'm reporting them to the FTC, etc. But it's just, I think it's a great idea to hire people rather than have bots place an ad. But how do you make sure that the company that's hiring is also legitimate and not fraudulent?
This is actually relevant. I didn't know if it would be relevant or not, but reviews on websites and products and Amazon, they were trying to hire you to write fake reviews on products. Yes, that's an FTC, it's against like a federal rule. So that shouldn't be happening. And but it does bring into the AI, I'm going to pivot right back into AI, is it's going to get crazy out there because you can tell an AI bot to go act like a human and actually click around on Amazon and leave reviews. You see it on LinkedIn, a lot of LinkedIn AI comments. Like the internet is going to be, um, everyone's looking to know what's real and what's not. And as fast as we build trust building type of tools, those same tools are being used to scam and break the law and everything, but also erode trust. So I think it's going to be difficult. Even Sam Altman from OpenAI was talking to the banks about all their like identity verification. Security is like almost useless now because you can copy someone's voice using AI voice and everything. So I think it's going to get crazy. Um, Trust is going to be harder to come by. But at the same time, I think some of the tools we use will catch up. And that's why in your marketing and you're trying to build a brand, the trust signals need to be more and more real. Just posting reviews on your website, I don't think people trust that anymore. I think we're going closer and closer to in person becomes more valuable. Mark Cuban was saying events, in-person events will keep becoming more valuable as the internet gets flooded with AI avatars and fake video people. So, um, as much as we want to hide behind our screens or hide behind our brand, I think anyone who's a founder now has to basically start showing their face.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple of tools or about tools, Chase, and Julia asked, do you think traditional SEO tools like Ahrefs and SEMrush still work for tracking AI search rankings?
I think they all have the new AI tracking now. It's quite expensive. I think Ahrefs was like $600 a month to start tracking some of these. And it's the old SEO, and I'll just say we're still doing the old SEO. I'm not saying it's going away, but we might track 25 keywords. But the length of the prompt now is so long. Even if Taylor and I were both searching for the same thing, he's going to phrase it differently. And so the tracking of AI prompts is I don't think it's always going to be some level of just an estimate or a benchmark, because you're not going to track the 300 ways people search for um, the best karaoke bar. Like, it's just not going to be feasible to track all of the ways.
Yeah.
So
Makes
they're all
sense.
adding it. They're all of these all the SEO tracking softwares are adding it in. It's quite expensive now, and probably will go down.
Chase, thanks so much. We're past time right now.
Yep.
Had a few requests. If you could put your contact information in the chat,
Sure.
people will be able to reach out to you. And really appreciate your insight. Are you able to share the presentation you gave to Hannah, and she could send that out to the attendees?
For sure.
Fantastic. So this
Yeah.
recording should be posted shortly, and looking forward to seeing everybody next week. Chase, thanks so much for your time and expertise today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I used AI to make the presentation. The slides. I
Perfect.
wrote all the text and everything, and then I used this AI tool. So I just put this. I'm kind of practicing what I preach, but
I like it.
um,
There may
I
be
put-
some additional questions we can kind of shut down right now, but Bobby threw another question in the chat. If you want to stay until the top of the hour, Chase, and answer any additional questions, that would be fine. But
I'm good.
otherwise, we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, what is your objective on how AI-powered search tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity are reliable? They still hallucinate. I think everyone has seen that, where they make up sources. You click on the link for the source. Even Perplexity was doing this. I did try to write an article and look for some sources, and it gave me ones that look real, and then I click it and it was a 404 page. Page does not exist. So, you know, I don't know. It keeps they say it's getting better, but at the same time, I'm not sure about that. I think most everyone I know who's professionally using it, they fact check, and they have a human in the loop. What kind of things are you using it for that you need it to be reliable for?
Okay.
What type of, when you say reliable, what do you want it to be?
Yeah, so the content, whatever we are getting out of these tools, can we utilize those to present to your clients or at your workplace? How do we validate, or who will validate and approve before
Oh,
we
yeah.
share it with a few others?
Okay, it's really good if you give it good information. So garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
But if you took, let's say you did a sales call. I love this use case. You do your sales call, you record that call. The call recorder transcribes it. Now you put that transcription into AI and you say, I don't know, summarize this or write me a proposal. It will get you a pretty good proposal based on that conversation, because you gave it the details that are true and accurate.
Mhm.
And then you can edit from there. But if you just said, hi, write me a proposal for whatever this PR project I'm doing, it's not likely to get it very like accurate or very useful for you. It's just going to be the
Mhm.
average. And a lot of the like it's designed to give you the best guess, which is going to be an average guess. It's hard to get AI to do something excellent unless you really push it. It's going to be an averaged answer out of the entire encyclopedia that it has. So
Chase,
if you give it good information,
Chase, based on your experience now, what would the first 1 to 3 steps be that people on the call right now could do today to make a difference in their businesses?
any kind of business.
Generally for AI, like what the presentation was on, like what
Yeah.
you talked about today. What are the first steps we should be taking?
I would, it's a very big question because now I'm thinking what exactly you need it to do. It's a Swiss Army knife. So let's say you one is start to play with it. I think you'll see the limitations as you play with it. Um, and then two is start to feed it things that feed it good sources. Yes, it can crawl the whole internet now, but if you have a homepage, if you have a business, grab the homepage, copy, like just select all on your homepage of your website, paste it in, and then start your conversation. Right? Give it, and if you have a whole business plan or a whole Google Doc about your business, your customer, your products, copy all that and paste it in, and then start asking questions. And then say, can you write me up some ideas for LinkedIn posts? The better information you give it, the more tight it will be to your actual goal. So that's the hack that it's not really it's designed to just have a little chat with you and just start chatting about anything. But in business and you're trying to do marketing or anything really, the more you give it your goals and just throw everything at it. I think people are kind of scared to like really crank it. But the more I've pasted in there, the better the results have been.
Anyone
Back
else
to the
have a
question about back to the question about getting fraudulent information. Can you use one tool to check to see if what you've received is, hallucinations or AI generated? Like, let's just say I received something like the first person said, and she was questioning it. Then can I ask one of the AI products, even AI Copilot, for instance, to tell me its validity? Or can it do that?
It might be able to. I like using Grok for some
Right.
fact checking. I mean, my favorites are ChatGPT and Grok right now. Um, if you're into coding and like web developing, there might be others. But if somebody sent you an email and it's got something it's kind of fishy, I mean, I guess you can copy paste that again back to what I just said, like just copy that whole email, throw it in, and say, is this a common scam? Like, it's probably going to have some information about that.
Great. Thanks for that tip.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Chase? Okay.
Chase, when you were saying to upload, content from our own site, I thought you were going down the path of saying, or like correcting AI and saying, or GPT in this case, and saying like, hey, the links you provided were fake. Here's 3 links that I found that actually are valid, and maybe one of those 3 is your company's website.
Hmm.
Um, does I mean, I don't know how much behind the curtain you can see or know on GPT, but is that going to drive some downstream benefit to our company?
It potentially could, but I don't know the way that it picks up new information. Um, it's kind of like when with Google, would people will try to go on there and type your business name like multiple times from multiple browsers to try to get it to show that your brand is popular. Um, I personally would probably spend my time on other things, but it could be picking up on what you give it. Meaning, like, is it going to make an incremental difference to your business? I don't know. I'd probably focus on other things,
Yeah,
hoping that
maybe it's
hoping
just
that
a cathartic. It just feels good to correct
yeah,
AI because
yeah,
it's a child.
yeah.
Thank you so much. I love this.
I do have a general question. All of us
Sure.
who listen to all of the AI readers, when they mispronounce your name or your company's name or product, how can you correct the review or the statement and even the written text that goes along with it in the captions?
Um, that's kind of a similar question to Spencer, and like I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if one person typing it in and there's not like a centralized customer support to do any of that. So
Thank you.
maybe there's other places, maybe you can publish something about that, but uh again, I as a marketer with limited time, I'd spend my time on other things. How does AI rank content differently than Google or Google Gemini? Similar stuff that I shared earlier. It's going to cite from really authoritative sources right now. A small brand new website might not get there unless you're really niche content. And I think it's going to be ranking pretty similar. Google's spokespeople have said that the Gemini is kind of running on a similar framework as the normal Google algorithm. So you can look up this term EEAT. It's kind of the Google gold standard for SEO. Yeah, so it's expertise, authority. There's a few other ones, but make good content, make it useful to people, and the I'll end with this though is in the past you just write it and hope it's good for everybody. Now you start to talk about you can get a lot more specific now. You can say in your blog, you could say, if you're a product manager at a SaaS company, these are some things that you should think about. Because then AI will be able to recommend it even better. So don't be afraid to be too specific. Thank you all, and I hope you have a great day. This is a
Thanks,
fun
Chase.
community.
Really
Thanks, Chase.
appreciate it. We'll see you.
See ya.
Thank you.